Good evening, and welcome to Data Analysis and Innovation by Vincent Joyce Jr., a final project for Computer Science 101 in the fall of 2014. What we're going to do is talk about the brief history of computing. We're going to show how it is all about data. We're going to do some basic data analysis. We're going to show you a short video, and we're going to talk about the world's most famous computer innovator, Steve Jobs. Then we'll have a little recap. A quick word on the two gentlemen on the bottom left here. Two great thinkers. One analyzed data terrifically, that was Einstein, and one was a great innovator. I thought they were a nice match for history. Okay, a few things about how computers got started in the modern era. We could say an abacus was a computer, and there are all sorts of other ways man counted things. But what we're going to concentrate on is how in the modern system the computer came along. It started in World War II, our journey, because the mortar rockets, when they were firing like miles away, they couldn't just shoot them in the air. You had to have accurate angle on where you were shooting it. Now you also had to factor in weather, and you had to factor in the size of the rocket, and you also had to factor in the temperature of the air, because that slowed down the rocket. This took massive amounts of tables and data and just a real time-consuming job. So what the Army did was put out to somebody in academia and say, how can you help us? We need some help. So two professors from the University of Pennsylvania came up with this, just a real big calculator. It took up a whole room. It had 18,000 vacuum tubes, but it did the job. Very impractical, though, for most organizations. But IBM saw this as an opportunity to get in. They service large customers, large corporations, government, business. So IBM kind of got in the business, and they evolved a couple of computers, kept improving on it. But then in 1976, Apple Computer was formed by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, and they wanted to bring this computing machine right into the home, so our average person could use it for his checkbook or play a game on it. And obviously most people know the success of that. A few relevant terms of computer are binary code. Binary code is the basics of how computer works. It's 1 0 1 0. 1 is on, 0 is off. It's just like a light switch. On off, on off, on off, on off, off. That's how computers work, basically how it works. Big data is just what it says. It's big data. What are we going to do with all this data we can accumulate, and what are we going to accomplish with it? It's not a problem. It's an enigma that's perplexing the man now, and that's what computers are going to do. They're going to help us get through this big data, and it's kind of a paradox because they are actually causing us to get the big data because they can crunch the numbers so well. HTML is hypertext markup language, and this is the language that websites are made of. Okay, right now I'd like to show you a video on some innovative computers in the NFL with Coach Bill Belichick, and also how computers are used a little at the University of Rhode Island here.
Coach Belichick, I am a University of Rhode Island student doing a report on data analysis and innovation. There is a plethora of statistical data that coaches in the NFL use today. Could you tell me about some of the information technology changes that you have seen in your 38 years as a coach in the NFL?
I used to write every play on a card. I came into the game with in 1975, our team wouldn't even recognize what these things are. A projector with a 60mm film, chalkboard and erasers and chalk. We don't have that stuff anymore. I still have a lot of fun of films in my personal possession. I don't even know how to watch them. I don't even know how to set the clock on my car. You know, when it goes from daylight savings time, the spring and the fall. So I always subtract an hour. I just leave it. I'm an hour ahead half the year. Could you tell me how you use a computer at work?
I don't know.
No, I mean, for what part of the job do you use the computer for?
Well, obviously we need access to our employees' work records, checking if they logged in, there on time. You have to check also for their contact list as well.
Pretty amazing. Hard pressed not to find anyone where in human existence that computers aren't being used. Now this slide here is a simple data analysis. And what I did is I tracked one summer when I wasn't working. I wasn't working at University of Rhode Island. I was off for the summer. But I always wanted to get 40 hours of work in. So I always wanted to make sure that I averaged 40 hours. So what I did is I kept track of all the times when I was working. Now, this week here, I didn't work, maybe worked 9 hours, might have worked this day here, I might have worked 10 hours, but the point is, right down here, I was less than 33 hours. I wanted to get to 40 hours. So if you track the data here, this week I didn't work at all, I worked a little here. So this, these days here, and then this slide right here, I didn't work any of that week. But then, you know what, as you watch the data, it started catching up, so I wasn't negative at all. A simple analysis of data, but that's what it's all about. It's analyzing data. Okay, now this here is a little more complicated. This slide is a shot of my website of the data of people visiting it. I've had 29 sessions on the site, people looking at it, 5 different users. Okay, 159 page views. Most of this was me, and hopefully my professors are seeing what a good job I'm doing. The number of pages for a session, probably 5. Okay, 8 minutes on the website, I think that's pretty good. Bounce rate is the rate of people who've gone on the web page, just seen the first page and then left. Now to the right over here is where some of the places that have picked up, like South Kingston, Rhode Island makes sense. Charlestown, pretty fascinating. Somebody from Moscow likes my site. Pretty cool. Okay, now let's talk about Steve Jobs. As you know about him, that he, again, started Apple Computer, Macintosh, a great success. Pixar, he founded that, but then he didn't work for it for a while. He was like the president de facto, but then just his aura of him owning it made it successful. Then he invented the iPod, the iPad, and again, Pixar again. He went back to there after he sold it to Disney, so he was quite successful. Okay, so here's what we're going to recap. Computers started as used machines, but you know now they are very micro. You put them anywhere. And computers are part of human existence today. And the more ability to analyze data makes man more efficient because he can be more innovative and thus do more. And my final thought I'd like you to go out with is, if you look at airplanes, we started about 100 years ago, 1903 to 2013, 110 years. Okay, look how far we've gone with airplanes. Now, where will we go with computers? We've been at computers, 50, 60 years? So where else are we going to go with computers? Makes you think. I want to thank you for watching, and you have a good day. Yeah, so we have football here, digital. And Tim Joyce watching his video. What do you got, an HP laptop there? Excellent. Typical night in the Joyce household. I would say if this was 30 years ago, we'd all be reading books, but now we're all doing computer stuff. And there I am on my computer over here, doing my CSE 101 homework. Right on.